Are you usually drunk?
Yes, I think that's
Yeah,
the first time in like 4 or 5 episodes that I'm sober.
yeah, but it kind of belongs to it, So I'm kind of hopeful that we'll see some nice things today from you. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, welcome
Yeah.
to the Eurocast! Yay! Let me just add
Yeah.
here everyone
Yeah.
in general effort. Here we go. Ah, and Eurobot's there as well. Ah, Eurobot. Eurobot, for those that don't know, it's kind of like my baby, right? I've been developing this thing now for 4 years, I think. And he started as a lowly little bot that just managed to ban people, and now he's got this whole ecosystem around him. So it's really fun to kind of make that happen. Anyway, welcome guys, Eurocast time
Yeah.
again.
I kind of have a feeling you're about a sentient, but that's just a feeling.
Might be one day.
He has
He
these
always picks the
reactions.
right. Yeah, like he always has the right reaction emoji.
Yeah. And I swear this is completely random. I mean, as random
Yeah,
as JavaScript can make it, basically.
yeah.
So
I mean, I saw the code,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but so poorly written he became sentient.
yeah. I think that might be it actually. I mean, he's running on my Raspberry Pi at home, which is like this tiny little computer, and it's just hooked up to the modem, and that's basically it. And I just leave him. I leave him with the holidays, and he seems to do okay.
Right.
So
All right.
anyway, today,
Welcome to
yeah.
Eurocast. As usual, from the beautiful lowlands, we have Snore.
Thank you.
From Tax Evasion Island, we have Octo.
Hello.
A- And from the German equivalent of Detroit, we have me.
It's not that bad.
It is.
It
I'm
is.
sure it's better than actual Detroit.
I actually had a look at property prices in Detroit. You can get like a house for like €10, right? But then you like go to Street View and you look around and it's just a desolation. Just with there's nothing over there, no services whatsoever. And the house itself, it needs some work. So and I've seen Frankfurt, so it's not that bad, right?
Okay. But to get to our topics for today, we're
Yes.
talking about and embracing that. Mm,
Yep. I think you just broke up a little bit there. Is it me or is it you?
uh, to destroy your internet. Oh, yeah. Imagine if
This is horrible.
Bond. Uh,
Ah,
really funny that they elected him.
I hope my connection still works. Oh gosh, man, guys, the connection for the Eurocast is dead. I don't know why. There's something going on
You know,
here.
why does it always fail around this time? Are
I
you that
don't know.
anxious?
I can show
Are,
you
are
my
your
ping.
children stuff?
I don't think so. I don't think they're doing anything major upstairs. You know what I mean? But this is horrible. For me. So
Yeah, yeah, most advanced European technology. All right, Chant, please point at Snore and laugh at him for his poor internet.
I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the Eurocast. No. I got Ziggo, man. I got Ziggo. This is shit. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm kind of hoping my ping's okay now and that you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Ah, good stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's got the the fake Brit's got the Belgian equivalent of Ziggo. Ah. Oh gosh.
All right,
Yeah.
after 6 minutes, now to the last list on the topic. Snor really wanted to talk about the treaty.
Yeah, I do. I do want to talk about the treaty. Actually, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but there was a vote in Parliament about it this week, and it's going to be interesting, you know. I mean, it's going to be very short-lived, but it's going to be interesting, so I'll tell you about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original topic list was that the third point was just us talking about Russians exploding, but
Well, we'll talk about that as well.
I can't have nice things.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. We've got plenty of time, man. Plenty of time, you know. But let's start with Ireland, because, you know, Ireland's in the news now because Dublin blew up yesterday. Basically, what happened was there was a stabbing, and the perpetrator was apprehended. We don't really know much about the perpetrator yet, I think.
Yeah, there's like a lot of conflicting things being said.
Yeah.
Like some people are saying it's an Algerian, some people are saying it's like an Irish person. I don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, a stabbing's bad no matter who does it.
exactly.
Isn't Wolf in that area?
Yeah. One of our
He's
users.
landed yet?
I think he's there. Yeah. He's
Yeah, but
had.
he's going to have to be fairly close to there soon anyway.
Oh gosh. So what happened after the stabbing is that, you know, because of all these conflicting rumors, basically, a bunch of far righters kind of took advantage of that, and of course, kind of congregated around the spot where it happened, you know, and started protesting, and that quickly went, you know, out of hand. And I think, you know, buses were burned, trams,
A police car,
yeah, and they actually.
and a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, and the Holiday Inn, where actually there's a lot of refugees staying at the moment, aren't there? And that's a bit of the problem.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're out now. But you know, that really scared people, and I just, you know, I mean, what is there? I mean, is this just thugs or what? I mean, you know, that's the question now people are asking.
Yeah,
So
I think
Yeah, this is the important question we direct at Octo, our PhD holder in Irish politics.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess some of it is like people who are like, them bloody foreigners coming over here and taking our jobs and stabbing our children. I think and then it's other people who I think just have a bit of an axe to grind, and if they see, you know, some unrest happening, then they
they'll
join
jump
in.
Exactly. Yeah, the hooligans basically.
Don't necessarily know or care what it's about.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the island mentality kicked
Yeah.
in.
Anyways, all the people there, they do not care about the well-being of those children. It's like it's not fueled by concern or
Yeah.
anything. It's fueled by hatred.
It's just a reason to basically riot and attack, basically, you know. I mean, that's it, and you could kind of see it turning, you know, because first there were people just kind of shouting at the police, going, "Yeah, what's going on," you know, and then, you know, more and more kind of you know, it's always the people with the balaclavas and the, you know, the hoodies and the, you know, the scarves.
Balaclava boy.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, you know, it's always the chavs, right? Ah, why are you pasting nice pictures now? Just to make us feel better?
I really
What's the
found
bird?
this really. Those are budgies, and they're cute.
Let me open it in the browser so that we can all look at it. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
sharing on YouTube too?
Yeah. I'm sharing all this on YouTube as well.
But yeah, all the stuff about buses being burnt, like that's not rumors. Like it's literally up on the internet to see. One thing that's not true though is there's a picture circulating around WhatsApp groups of like a tank on the street.
Oh, yeah.
There's some different tanks. That's from
Oh god, here goes my connection again. Oh no, yeah, I'm back again.
Oh, man.
Oh man, this is painful. Anyway, the picture from the tank, right? That was because there was an exercise of the Irish Defence Forces, and they were just taking a shortcut through Dublin. You know.
That might have been. I don't know. Anyways, that
Yeah.
picture's several years old,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
far as I know.
Yeah,
It's
but
not from last night.
yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's a big problem. You know, disinformation. You saw a lot of, funnily enough, a lot of British accounts, right, trying to push this narrative of the foreigners are bad and you got to attack the foreigners and on Twitter. I mean, Twitter now is basically what it is. It's a far right meeting place. And you could see it. You can tell by the number of reactions that are there.
It's a dumpster fire, and it's
Yeah, but
beautiful.
this kind of, it's a bit early, but this kind of does segue into the Dutch elections because this also happened during the Dutch, campaign. You saw a lot of, all the what you could see is the ratio between likes and comments per tweet, right? And you could see that the ratio of comments per tweet for left-wing candidates was seriously bad. I mean, lots and lots of vitriol, bots. Russians pretend to be Dutch, and you saw the same thing in Ireland basically now, right? You saw Brits pretending to be Irish. You saw Russians pretending to be Irish. Just kind
I'm
of stoke.
famous from Leinster Oblast.
It's horrible, though, isn't it? I mean, this is the age of disinformation, and the one thing is that we've got Elon Musk pushing this stuff, but I'm hoping that the EU will start pushing back on this, because that'll be the.
What we've seen, to go on a little tangent regarding Twitter, because I still think it's really funny. It's been now 1 year that he has bought it, and I still believe it's really funny. Basically, the mouse, Bill Gates club, and Apple, I think, all have bailed on Twitter's marketing department.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's growing basically, isn't it? I mean, people don't want to be associated with Nazi content, I mean, companies. So.
Yeah, they're leaving en masse. They're getting issues with the EU, like.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse for that platform. So I think actually, in the long run, that's a good thing for us that it's burning so hard right now, just because a flame that burns thrice as bright will burn out thrice as quickly.
True. I mean, the thing is, right? I mean, I was talking with Black Owl about this. Black Owl, one of our mods, and we don't have any. We don't have anything in Europe that can really replace it. Blue Sky doesn't allow video uploads, so you can't do video conferences through Blue Sky. Mastodon is way too fractured to be able to be used, and it's a very, very a badly written platform as well. So it costs a lot of resources to do stuff like that. I mean,
and it's also very difficult to what's the word for it? Like get people to monetize, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So so it'll cost money to make something like that. And to be honest, right? I mean, writing something like this, while it's a challenge, is not impossible. It's just getting the money for the storage and for the infrastructure that you need to support something like this. That's basically what you have to pay for. You have to have load balance servers. You have to have Elasticsearch, for finding tweets. You have to have storage for video. Those kind of things. That really matters. So it's a thing, basically. So anyway, I see my connections just dropped again. So I'll just keep talking. Oh my god. Yeah.
This is now my Eurocast. Wait,
I don't.
tape. this giving me Funkloch vibes. Yes, it does. Snore is living in some backwater in.
Oh no! Oh, this is horrible. Am I back again?
1,000 people is considered a backwater.
He's just in the triangle. No, it's worse. He's on the top side.
Oh.
To fix itself. A small warning: don't. Geolocate. I have found the residence of some members already. It was fun.
Their area or their actual houses?
Like their actual houses.
I think I'm back, right?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I have
Yes.
no idea what's
Yes,
going on.
I
with
am.
the connection.
I am actually this insane.
Oh,
Yes, Snore. I was just talking about how I geolocate people for fun.
yeah. You are a star, to be honest with that. You know, I mean, I tend to dox myself every so many days on the chat. You know, because it's just fun. You know, and to be honest, you know, I mean, Forum Gottfucken has always been kind of like a nice place to meet friends, and you know, I mean, it's a nice, comfy, cozy environment, you know, so it's easy to dox yourself as well. So I've put my name and my location on there so many times that if you just Google me and you just scroll up a little bit, you'll find it. Oh gosh, but you know, some people are really uncomfortable with that, you know. So you know, do watch out, guys, when you you know, discuss things, or you know, try to find out who they are. You know, we trust Jan, right? Otherwise, there would be no Eurocast. But you know, for the rest, you know, do be careful who you let out your information on. I don't really care because you know I'm freaking boomer, and you know that doesn't matter. So
Yeah, like once it's like I'm gonna send him a mail bomb.
glitter bomb, please. Yeah.
No, like swat him. That's boring. I want him to go out with a bang.
Hey, I've got kids, yeah? Don't you dare, right? Glitter bomb is better, exactly. Yeah.
As a
Oh,
guy, proof of the glitter bomb. Okay, compromise. I put high explosives in it and glitter.
and glitter. Anyway,
and send me cool Haribo flavor.
so I
if you
just
actually send me a picture from your window, I will find you.
that is true, by the way. Don't take him up on it because he will. You know. Anyway, so Ireland, right? So let's get back to Ireland because you know what will this? You know, we've had the talk about you know why and you know who. But you know, what will this do with the political kind of spectrum, right? Because will this harden sentiments against, for example, the refugees, or will it give the government a boost because they're responding to these thugs, basically? You know, that's the question. So, what do you think?
I feel like the sentiment was already getting relatively harsh in recent months.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's been attacks against your refugee centres as well in Ireland, haven't there?
Yeah, and then there was a fairly high-profile trial in the media, like a murder trial, where the suspect who was later found guilty and convicted was, you know, from another country.
Yeah, and that basically made them the poster boy for anyone who would say immigrants bad, guys, you know.
Yeah, and like, not sorry, but like a lot of kind of anti-immigrant people were like, but sure, how can we let this person into our country? But like, he was from Slovakia, like an EU citizen.
Yeah,
It's not like he had to apply for a visa or anything.
yeah, exactly. You know, and that's a little bit of the rub, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
but the hardening kind of aspects. You know, do you think that will? I mean, which political parties are taking advantage of this? Is it Sinn Féin or is it other?
In Ireland.
Well, major would be like Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin. I think you have the
tiny
slightly
ones.
less important but not fringe parties. So that would be like Greens, Soc Dems, Labour. But the only way they can ever be in government is as a junior coalition partner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
okay.
FG and
Yeah,
FF.
because-
Those are
yeah,
basically
okay.
the ones, right?
And
The
Sinn
current.
Féin's
Oh,
in the
yeah,
UK bloc.
okay, 6.
I'm just looking at the Politico polls for Ireland. Let me just give those to the guys in chat as well.
I haven't seen recently people that they might call an early one.
Yeah, because at the moment, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil are they're basically in a coalition together, right? They've got
Yeah,
they're
like basically a grand coalition where they're like the joint senior partners and the Greens are like the junior partner.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Greens. That was going to be my question because it was either going to be the SDs, the Greens, or Labour, right? Those are the three real candidates that they can deal with, And with that, they just kind of reach a majority, right? It's just
No, I
tiny.
just mean that, like those parties are like they're the more minor parties, but they're not fringe either. Like they always get at least something.
Yeah, exactly. And Sinn Féin is the big opposition, basically, at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you see that? I mean, if there was an election right now, would they still have enough? Could they still make a grand coalition, or would Sinn Féin somehow have to be included in that?
I mean, the Greens are polling a lot worse than they were the last election. That they'd probably drop a few seats.
Yeah.
But I'd say Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, at least one of them would have to be in it because, like,
to reach that 50% threshold, basically.
to reach half, because more like I think.
Yeah, I'm gone again.
A left party like losing voters that vote for another left-wing party rather than like people voting for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and switching positions is what I've heard. So the same percentage of non-Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael.
It's interesting though to me, I mean, how this kind of will develop, I mean, this obviously was a big hit to Ireland yesterday, with the riots and stuff. But I mean, Ireland's a big country, it's not just Dublin.
A big country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not people-wise.
You're talking to a Dutchman.
Yeah. Come on, man. Luxembourg.
The country is more people, but it's less land area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ireland is a big country. Joke of the day. Chat. Can we get a lol?
Come on, man. Luxembourg's small, right? Netherlands is normal sized, and Germany and Ireland is that you guys are just giants, man. Just go live.
Yeah. The titan to rival Germany, Ireland.
While we're talking about the Irish government, so Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are like, since they're kind of joint senior partners, there was a rotating Taoiseach because they couldn't when they were like doing out like a program for government, they weren't going to have like one party have the position of Taoiseach for like the whole term because they got almost the same amount of seats. So for the first 2.5, Micheál Martin was Taoiseach, and then about a year ago, it's Swally over Adker have the position for the term. And rotating Taoiseach's never been done before.
I mean, I think it's an overall thing that we have rather unstable and political establishment all throughout Europe, especially in countries that have already some rather
I see where you're going with this.
Unstable establishment.
I mean, Ireland's been pretty all right, like by international standards.
International. And they were transition is good.
Oh man.
Where are you going to now?
That's the kind of stuff you get when I am sober.
Well, there's a price to be paid for everything, my friend. So this is it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, speaking of countries like that, you know,
Yeah.
with
From
problems.
the titanic land mass of that is Ireland to the tiny and puny Netherlands.
Oh, isn't it cute, right? Isn't it cute? Everyone's freaking
Not
out
not
over this new election,
like
right?
like I still don't know how I can endure this.
Are we taking
So
requests to speak right now?
Yeah,
no,
not right now.
Okay.
We'll do so in a bit, guys. Don't worry, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
right. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to wait
yo
for
yo,
that.
know your place. Put
Yeah.
that hand down.
yeah. We'll get you. Maybe we'll pull Peter in later as well because I wanna hear his take on some of this stuff as well, right? But we'll see who we can pull in later, right? First, let's talk about the Netherlands. I mean, you know, this election was wonderful. I feel heard, right? Geert Wilders are the guy that created the Mohammed cartoons together with the Swedish cartoonist. Wrote books together with a murdered guy about anti-Islam stuff. For 20 years, he's been demonizing religion, you know, the Islam as a religion, and railing against immigrants. He's finally gotten his chance, guys, but it's not as easy as it looks. You know,
I
victory.
mean, I kind of vibe with it how insane he looks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's the Dutch Trump. Let's be honest, right? He was pre-Trump. He was already, you know, big in the Netherlands, and you know, it had to happen sometime. And you know, everyone's going, "Oh no, there's going to be a far right government in the Netherlands." But you know, it turns out it's not that simple, right? Firstly, the Rutte's old party, you know, our current prime minister, he is he's not very happy with this, right? And him and his new kind of follow up guy, they follow up girl, I should say. They decided not to go into a coalition with him, so he now has basically no chance of forming a government, right? So he will either have to get a minority government with support of the VVD, or it could be Frans Timmermans who grabs the microphone and tries to do something with that. You know, we'll have to see. But even if he manages to form a minority government somehow, right? That's not the end of it, right? Because in the upper house, whatever coalition he could form with all the far right parties would still be below 50%. So he would not be able to push through laws to which he wanted, basically. You know,
Like leaving the EU.
yeah, like leaving the EU, or you know, closing all the mosques, or you know, all those kind of things. They're out, man. You know, it's not happening, right? He's basically been put in a box, and that box is very, very small. Parliament wants the third party to you know, the top three. The third party is run by a new guy called Peter Omtzigt. And he's very much into rule of law. And what he wants to do is he wants to have a law in Parliament, which is supported widely by most other parties, which will make the Prime Minister have to take advice, or at least direction, from the Parliament when it comes to the European Union and from international obligations. So that kind of basically limits him that way as well, you know. And it looks like they're going to be pushing that through quite soon, because that's a really popular one with most parties, except for, you know, the PVV. So, you know, I mean, this election looks like an upset, but I don't think it really. Yeah, exactly. Like the fake Brit said, international law directly applies here already, right? But he could do things, you know, by passing laws, and you know, if he managed to get a coalition. But there, you know, without the VVD, there's no chance, right? They're this. I'm not sure. I think they were the third top three. I think it was top four was you had Geert first. Then you had Frans Timmermans with his, you know, the ex-EU commissioner, second place. Then you had the VVD, third place. And just fourth place is that Peter Omtzigt guy. So I got that wrong, but, you know. Yeah, exactly. The old man says it right. Turns out 23.6% of the vote doesn't give you a mandate to run the country entirely as you like. Exactly, which is a surprise to British people and Americans, by the way. You know, hey, he won. He's supposed to run the country. No, 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 no. This is the Netherlands. We don't we don't do things like that.
We don't.
Uh,
Do the Belgians actually now have a government, or is that government
Yeah,
crisis
no, no,
still going on?
they still have one. They still have one, but elections are coming up for them. I think. Oh,
They
let me check.
do they still have crisis, or do they have one?
They have a prime minister. Their prime minister is De Croo.
What I asked, do they have a government?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do. I'm just trying to find out when their next election is. Oh, their next election is next year, on the 9th of June, which is also during the European Parliament elections, by the way. So that'll be super interesting, man. Seeing that happen. Oh, fuck's sake. My connection's dead, guys. Oh, no. My connection's dead.
So, we things from the next.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this is a pain.
Let's get good. Gentlemen, game office. Well, whenever a failure.
Hey, Tim.
Okay, well, whilst we're waiting for him to be back, actually, third point was treaty change. That was his thing. So, let's talk about, I don't know, what could be a good topic filler. Oh yeah, the Dutch merged their last brigade into the German army. So yeah, the Kingdom of the Netherlands no longer have independent acting land forces.
I see.
Though their navy and air force are still operating independently.
Right.
So
Hey,
yeah, we are
okay. I'm back.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We made the first step to a European army by just absorbing the Dutch army.
Yeah. We acceded to that because it's cheaper. See, that's how you have to get the Dutch, right? You have to make it cheaper, and then they will do anything you want. Right? You just have to repackage it. It's not joining the German army. No, it's joint command, right? And you don't have to pay for the tanks. It's wonderful. Oh gosh. Yeah, sorry about that. I figured out what it was, by the way.
The fact that you're in the countryside.
No. My son was running torrents upstairs.
Oh, I thought you said you were on a train.
No.
I told you it was your child.
Your children are a lot more technologically advanced than I was at their age.
Oh, they've been playing Minecraft since they were like 4, and used to play World of Warcraft on my lap. So they've been advanced, right? But my son's really into War of the Worlds at the moment. So he's been downloading all the video games and all the movies and all the audiobooks, which I think is nice.
Dutch, so he's torrenting it all.
Oh gosh, if I get a letter from the yeah, from the provider saying that I'm, that this is not on, then I'll know it's too far. But for now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like your kids are preteens, right? Like when I was that age, I was like a stickler for the law, so I downloaded everything legally.
Oh, very good. No, this is War of the World games aren't really, available.
You said torrenting.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, when I was 10, like my favorite piece of electronics was my Nintendo 3DS. It is still one of my favorite. It is still one of the best things crafted by man.
Yeah.
I still have it. I still love it. Whoever
Oh,
designed the
Mine
Nintendo
is like
3DS XL, I love
in a
you.
drawer somewhere. I haven't used it in ages.
I have the
Yeah.
original first Nintendo ever, which is nice. That was my Nintendo. That's how old I am.
Which console would that be?
It's the Nintendo Famicom. It's from
Oh yeah,
1980.
Before,
When I was there, I found a very expensive calculator. This is 1984, 85, right? So you find a calculator, right? And this thing is fucking expensive, right? You're looking at it, whoa, man, never seen one before,
oh,
right?
God.
I decided to bring it back to the police station, right? And at the police station, I was questioned for about 8 hours about why I picked up that calculator. Of course, they had to bring in translators, but they wouldn't let us go. They didn't go like, "Oh yeah, thanks for turning it in." They wanted to know why I picked up this expensive calculator from where it was clearly dropped, because I didn't know, and it was just lying there in the sand, right? And that was one of my first real run-ins with Japanese bureaucracy and police, kind of, how society is there, and that was a shock, I must say, because I was like 9 years old, right? You're being questioned like you were a thief, You're like, whoa, man, that was something. I'll tell you what.
The first of many encounters with the law.
Yeah, exactly. But I must say, Switzerland kind of feels the same. Right? If you don't put your bins outside on time, right, especially there, then oh man, they'll tatter you, and the guy will go through your garbage bags to see if you've actually gotten the right type of plastic in there, all those kind of things. So I feel at home in Switzerland, to be honest. Ah. Yeah, you think
And you also,
you think I'm not telling truth, Jack? That's real, man. That really is.
the internet has corrupted me to a point where I nearly lost it when you said, I saw that expensive calculator, and this is 1984.
Yeah. Well, it felt like it, and it was. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we've talked about the Dutch issue. I think a little bit. We can pull in a few more Dutch people in a bit to talk about it.
Now you wanted to talk about the treaty change. Now we get to
Yes.
talk about the treaty change.
My treaty change, man.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
This better be better than Russians exploding.
Oh man, you have no idea. So the treaty change means that with a tiny majority, the European Parliament has passed a list of demands for a new treaty of the European Union. And while that sounds very technical, that would mean the abolition of the veto in the council. It would mean more money and more powers for Europol. All kinds of moving of competences towards the EU, and they've passed this. It's now passed. The European Parliament is going to send it to the Council, and the chances are that the Council is going to shoot it down. But it does indicate, which direction the EU wants to go. And I think, the important thing here is that, people have been clamoring for the end of the veto for ages now. And, if we could get rid of that in the council, that would be, no more Hungary being an ass. I'm sad.
Okay. But,
Yeah.
it's just a list of demands, and everyone still has to agree to those demands.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, will Hungary agree? Probably not in this in this government, let's say. And
I know
Robert
a lot of
Orban,
countries who would not agree to that.
Yeah. But
I
there
mean,
are, there are reasons to make it qualified majority voting, which would still take into account the vast majority of countries,
I mean,
as long as you can get 66% of the vote together.
we have Slovakia. We have Captain Dutchistan.
Yeah. That depends on what Parliament says now, So, or will do soon. So
Parliament decides you're going to the Shadow Realm.
pretty much, right? No, I mean it's 2/3 of the vote, and it has to be by also by more than 50% of the population of the EU. So it has to, the countries representing, if France, Germany, and Italy say that it's going to happen, it's going to happen, right? Basically, that's the
Luxembourg shall suffer the Germo-Italio-Franco dictatorship.
Oh no, man! Please no, not again.
No, little tidbit of history. During World War II, when the NSDAP tried to incorporate Luxembourg into the Greater German Reich, they tried to do a census there, and there were basically two options on the census for ethnicity, where people where they were asked to identify as German or as French. And they simply scribbled in third box saying Luxembourg.
Yeah, all of them basically did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was a mass movement basically to go no. Yeah.
I mean, very interesting place to get back to the Netherlands in terms of history. And proportion to the biggest resistance movement, and simultaneously volunteers for the SS.
Aww. Oh gosh. Anyway, I mean, it's nice to talk about exploding Russians, right? But I think something like treaty change, and don't forget this also has to do with Ukraine. How is Ukraine going to join the EU? There's been a lot of talk about that this week as well. With Hungary threatening to veto it because they say basically the EU is not ready for this, and. Orban brings it in his very blunt way, but he does have a point there that the EU has to do massive changes to be able to allow a state like Ukraine, and especially a state during wartime. If that does happen, so it does indicate that Parliament wants to have a say in how the EU is going to look like, and this is their negotiating position for that. In December, we'll have a European Council. Let me just look up when exactly that is. European Council agenda. That is. Let's see. Somewhere towards middle of December. Yeah, 14th and the 15th of December. So just before Christmas, we're going to have a nice European Council, a nice chat, between 27 narcissists, political heavyweights, and Michel, Charles Michel. So. Yeah. Michelle is coming to see Orban on Monday. Thanks, Andrews. That is true. Oh, all the Brussels people are going, yeah, Michelle should have gotten Orban to visit him, right? But come on, man. Michelle, you could replace Michelle with a homeless man. I've said this before, right? Yeah. Go kiss the ring, man. Oh, gosh. For me, that is the that is so amusing. I don't think those people complaining understand the relationships very well here. Yeah, exactly. That would just be as effective. That is the point, you know. I mean, the job of a European Council president is to get consensus across the European Council. But unless something major happens, that is basically an impossibility, right? Each country is representing its own best interests. Yeah, when it comes to any subject. There are things that are smooth, and, you know, where they
just have to cause geopolitical crises until we got all the reforms through.
Yes, exactly.
Which head of state do we kill first?
Geert Wil, no. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say AIVD. Right? You're not gonna catch me that way.
Okay. You know, when we want a drastic and a lasting change in European politics, one thing that has always worked is murdering an Austrian in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Or the Serb has to do it.
Yeah. Well, basically, so we should send.
We should send Wolf to Bosnia.
Yeah, but he has to have power first, so you know, I have to get him into power first, right?
We should send him to Bosnia anyway.
Oh gosh! Oh no! This is
What does that sound like a punishment? You're going to Bosnia?
I mean, I visited and I liked it, but I'd never lived there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know about visiting either. You know, I mean,
Wait,
I mean, for those that don't know,
did you visit it via plane?
Pardon, what did you say?
Did you got there via plane?
Well, no, we flew into Croatia, then drove to Bosnia.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, they have an airport. I just don't think it has the direct flight from Ireland. Last time I checked.
From the air, does it look like Minesweeper?
Well, I mean, the mines are unexploded. But yeah, you do not go on long walks out in the countryside.
Yeah.
I don't know what you might run into.
It's interesting though, because there's still places in Belgium that are still like that as well.
I
And
mean,
Bosnia, parts of Kosovo as well, and now Ukraine as well. You know, I mean, there's Ukraine is going to take a hell of a lot of cleaning up, and I think there will be places where, you know, it will maybe even be impossible to clean up. So you know, for those that don't know, Bosnia is run by the EU/US kind of government thing that they've built since the fuck. Sorry, what were you saying? My connection just dropped again.
Once the Balkans stop burning, world peace will be achieved.
Yeah. Pretty much. So anyway,
we only have 8 minutes left on the Eurocast.
Yeah.
Y'all know what time that is.
Let's invite people in to speak. That's what time it is.
But yeah, I can recommend it for a visit, because if you only visit, you don't have to deal with the problems of living there, but you can still enjoy somewhere that's sunny and has stuff in it.
Yeah.
You can still make fun of the people there.
I mean, they were pretty decent to me, you know.
Hello everyone.
I got 3 people on.
Hello.
Because, yeah. Let's make this interesting. Okay, people, tell me how awesome I am.
You
should mute yourself.
I can't take the whole of Hessen seriously.
I'm sorry, no.
For those that don't know, we've got Stroopwafel, Doug, and Peter here. You know, all regular listeners. Nice to see you guys. Thanks very much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Hello.
Thoughts about the Dutch election, Nerdy Stroopwafel? What were your thoughts?
Oh, our constitution has died. No, just kidding. But I kind of agree with you there, because I would just wanted to add something on your remark of Geert Wilders being in a box.
Yeah.
I do think that the VVD's are like, yeah, we're just going to do like the whole gedoging and whatever, so we'll just kind of like, tolerate its existence. But let's be real, I think Yazuga's just she'll do the PVV anyway, because the VVD is just kind of known to swing with everything that is kind of, as long as they keep in power. But still, the thing is, we have something called relatively, again, this is all relative, right? Non-politicized judges. So the thing is that most of them, because this whole crisis started with the fact that, which is fucking stupid why the cabinet fell, because everyone's like, we do not want the refugees to bring their family over and whatever. And so everyone was like, yeah, well, this is kind of against the law. And then the government's like, we'll do it anyway. And then, of course, some Syrian families sued. And then the High Court was like, fuck that, and then the government rage quitted after that. So,
exactly. Yeah, they had to come up with a law to kind of circumvent this stuff, right?
Yeah, but then someone actually got, because the interesting thing about the Dutch Constitution is that judges cannot judge on the constitutionality of a law, but they can, however, judge the individual, which we call a besluit or beschluss in German. And I guess, for all non-English speakers, I am not going to translate it legally, so you just have to deal with this. A decision, basically, you can individually challenge that against your constitutional rights.
Yeah.
So, it got dropped, and then, the IND was just sitting, so the migration service was just sitting there like, everyone's going to sue us anyway. So yeah, then the government was like, but we don't want the migrants, which I don't understand, because we've got like massive personal shortages and the Dutch are not really keen on reproducing themselves. So I'd really like to hear how everyone's going to solve this.
To be honest, call me a liberal hearted lefty, softy, or whatever you want to call me. But the refugees and people that have crossed literally thousands actually want to be here. You know what I mean, and actually do stuff for the country and be part of this
liberal.
Nation. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, these are things that you can, you can select for this, and we do have a selection system for this stuff. I
also want to chime in here as someone who is building systems that are collecting data about people communicating on the internet or on phones or whatever.
Yep.
It's like people, and I think that's a very important point that the fake Brit just made here. Is like the courts made a decision, right? They made a decision like you cannot have access to this data and you can have access to that data. But the point of all of this is the data exists, right? And being someone that builds this infrastructure and like collecting this kind of data, as a nerd that I am, I can tell all of you the data exists, and being the nerd that I am, and you might even be understanding that like the data exists, we have the data, and at the end of the day is we don't care. And at the end of the day, it's nerds like I am that building all of this infrastructure that you put your SIM card on, that you send your SMS on, that you send your Discord connections on.
Exactly. And all this.
Like we have this data exists and we have it. And if someone decides that they want to have your data, we don't care. Like we will have the data and we give it to them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If the court says like you don't have access to this data, you don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Unless you, of course, have a court order. Exactly. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
So super interesting, right? I mean, to me, this election was so blown out of context, right? And but there are still risks, right? Because it looks like Geert Wilders will be prime minister, right? It doesn't look like Frans Timmermans will probably be prime minister because. People are going, oh, well, he's the biggest. It's his mandate to be prime minister because he is the biggest. But
no, that's not how democracy works.
Yeah,
this is with the provincial elections with Forum for Democratie, because he just said some batshit things and they were able to form a coalition like the other way around, and then he was just being a little bitch and saying, "Oh, being although I'm the biggest party. And again, as some other users have just said, 23.6% is not enough to, run a
But
government.
that's the perception. I mean, the perception is that because of that, and that does weigh in how people are going to decide who's going to be prime minister. You know what I mean? So chances are that Geert Wilders will outmaneuver Frans Timmermans simply because he is the biggest. People expect that. I think a lot of people will see Frans Timmermans as more of a betrayal, because the vote for the left actually went down. And if you look at the number of parties, and the vote for the right went up, and that really creates this idea of nobody's listening to us. And which is something that they try to avoid. It might actually not be the case that people feel that, but that's the perception of it. You know what I mean? So it's going to be don't forget, guys. Coalition talks in the Netherlands last on average 109 days. Right? They have been less, but the last one was 229, I think. Right? So
We almost pulled a Belgium.
Okay, I have a proposal for every day the Netherlands do not have a government. I take a shot.
If it's cirrhosis, well,
He's going to be your liver, exactly. He's going to be
just living the cirrhosis life.
Yeah. Well, you should have already had a drink then, my friend.
Yeah.
But since you have a test tomorrow,
I have an exam tomorrow. Yeah, like this literally just an excuse to drink. Y'all should know this is the first Eurocast in like maybe 6 episodes that I'm doing sober.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I should mourn that or should celebrate that. I don't know which is morally right.
I think since it's always on a Friday, I think it's okay. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I mean, for you, Friday is the beginning of the weekend. For me, it's not.
I suppose maybe it's not such a great idea then.
Can't imagine Jack. It's surreal. Yeah, believe me. I mean, if a quarter of your time in office is spent talking about how you're going to be in office, it is a little bit.
Belgium.
Belgium, exactly.
Okay, like I have a very efficient proposal for government forming.
Yeah.
Basically, we lock up the entire parliament in that room, give them maybe food and water for maybe 5 days, and lock them in.
Oh, yeah, they try that,
and,
but then...
and they only get to leave once we have a government, or they're all dead.
No, that's not how it works in the Netherlands, my friend. You know what that would happen?
That's boring.
No.
You ate your prime minister once.
Exactly.
You can do it again.
They will elect one of them to be prime minister.
You committed genocide once. I'm not coming back to that either, am I?
Peter, are you wearing a balaclava?
No.
No, this is called a buff.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
Listen,
Antifa has entered the house.
How you keep acting.
I was wondering if you were about to go set a bus on fire in...
I mean, look at Peter. He's about to ban someone on Reddit.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's you don't want to see me because I'm just sitting here with my bathrobe, desperately trying for my kapa not to fall off.
Oh
because I
my
need to
gosh!
get
Oh, the
back
mental
to my-
images. The mental images. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some people are into it. You never know.
Hey, I'm not naked.
No, I could-
so that's
I
something.
could. No, I bet you're naked under your clothes, you filthy slut.
Ooh.
So, Peter. Anyway, lastly, coming to you.
Yes.
I mean, you're viewing this from the United States. Is there anything that appeared in your news about this, about the Dutch election, or was it?
More importantly,
I mean-
are you entertained?
Yes, I mean, for full transparency, I also have a bunch of European news apps on my phone, like France 24 and Euro News.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm very well informed on what's going on in like both continents.
Yeah.
My thought on the Dutch election, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I'm really not, because it's long been a thing in European politics. And full disclaimer, I'm probably somewhere around a democratic socialist. So I'm a pretty lefty, but
I mean, I can tell.
The problem is that the left can never get a concrete plan in place when it comes to immigration. They do nothing but bicker and bicker. And I understand that my side of it, the left side, wants to be like, moralistic and human about it. But like as a result, you take too long with these deliberations and just nothing gets done. And then the people get frustrated. And when the people are frustrated, that frustration overrides any other logic that might be in their brain. And they're like, well, okay, my life is shit. Why is my life shit? Oh, let's turn on the TV. Oh, look, they're talking about migrants.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the parties doing about it? Oh, the left doesn't have a plan, but hey, the right has a plan, and they make that plan simple enough that the average voter, can understand. That's why they get the votes.
Exactly.
Because the right got the messaging.
I mean,
It's a very interesting take you're going with, because I literally came back from work and, we were just, because one of the major things that is going on now is our housing crisis. And what my colleague Dede said, who voted for Geert Wilders, was, well, if we kick the foreigners out, we're just starting somewhere at least. I'm like, well, and I'm like, well, this is way too complicated to comprehend that. But, I get that kind of confirms your point, because the foreigners equals occupying house equals bad is a simple enough logic to follow, instead of saying, well, the VVD kind of fucked this up for like the whatever, they were like in 2010, they are like, what, the Ministry of National Housing will just abolish that shit, and then everything went downhill and we never solved this since World War II. That's way too complicated and way too nuanced, because foreigner bad takes my house, yada yada, it's just way easier to follow.
Exactly. You can't give the average Joe a complex, nuanced message. You need to boil down. If you're trying to get votes, you don't explain, oh, well, through all these different processes, we integrate the refugees. Blah, blah. No, you can't. They're going to stop listening. But when your life sucks, it's because the refugees are that's
they're taking your shit.
I kind of have to interdict there, because it isn't that simple, because you can't just make saying the average. It's because the average.
Well, obviously,
Joe
it's not
the average Joe isn't smart enough to understand our complex messaging.
Can I
more? I mean, no.
Go on.
It is more because my counterexample. I am talking now. Shut up. Because the German counterexample, for example, I said example twice, would be our government, because we have now currently a major surge in right-wing parties.
Exactly. We have very simple
because we too have a very rather left-leaning government. And it's mainly because they are totally failing to deliver any form of solution to problems we are facing.
Intended to deliver any solution.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was super interesting, and seeing all this kind of happen. But I think the message from me at the end of this podcast should be, guys, don't worry, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We'll
make it.
This will probably just collapse in 2 years anyway, because they found another bullshit thing.
Exactly.
My message at the end of the day is: the world's fucked either way. Just pour in a glass of whiskey, kick back, and watch the world burn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was today's Eurocast.
Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming. It was wonderful, despite all the technical problems. Let's continue in the chat.
There is somebody I didn't get to reply to real quick. So in Droots, you said Peter, it's even worse in a welfare state where these frustrated people also see how immigrants are treated as special while they themselves can't afford to rent a home. That's true, but I don't think it's necessarily the immigrants' fault. I think when these European governments make this commitment to the immigrants, to take them in, these refugees, to take care of them, what's missing is there also needs to be a policy kind of point of view on, okay, how is taking all these people going to affect the people that are already there? Your citizens, because obviously, as humans, we want to take care of other people.
guys, and with
But
that,
at the same time, you gotta be that you're your own hero.
Peter,
Yeah.
Peter, hear me out. I made such a nice closing statement, and now you're ranting over it.
No, I was.
let's all let's all convene in the chat. How about that one? Guys, it was lovely.
we can
today.
just
We had a
continue
great
it over
Eurocast.
there.
We had a great Eurocast. Let's have the after party in the chat, and we'll see you all next week. Right, night.
All right, we'll see you.
Remember